Welcome back to Robot Wars. We are in the second round. With me is Mackenzie with R2-D2, who defeated Data and his wiener in the first round.
Especially Data's wiener.
Also with me is Clint Gage, who has Bishop from the movie Aliens, who defeated Rosie in the first round in what I can only term is an example of the unfair treatment that feminine-based robots are faced with, and the glass ceiling that they have to burst through to get some sort of respect.
I'm happy
so
to
we're going to go
say,
to the second round.
While Bishop beat Rosie, I feel like you beat me. And I escaped by the skin of my teeth.
I flipped an imaginary coin. Oh, I'm not supposed to say imaginary. I flipped a coin beforehand, and Mackenzie will be going first.
I knew he was going to do that.
Because I like to go left to right, the same way I like to read. Each candidate will get 2 minutes to talk about why their robot is the best. Then they will each get a minute for rebuttal to the other's argument. And then you guys get to vote on who you think the winner is. You ready?
I have the shirt and drunk Princess Leia hair.
Honestly,
apparently.
you look a little walk of shame-ish right now, to be perfectly honest. It's a good effort, though.
You're down 10 seconds already.
Okay, wait. R2-D2 is one feisty astromech droid. He's a cool dude. He's fun and adventurous. You can go back and watch the previous video where I listed some of the many times that R2-D2 has saved the day. He never really fails. Over the course of 6 movies, R2 uses his many tools to slice computers, extinguish fires, project holograms. He's laughing, I don't know why.
Because you said tools.
Oh, okay. And fly on his own. His bravery is pretty much unparalleled, and he's always in the right place at the right time. R2-D2 was even recognized by the Queen for his service on the royal ship when the Trade Federation blocked the planet. He also played a key role in liberating Naboo for another 10 years. He could store memories and helped Luke and Leia discover their identity, the identity of their mother, with a holo recording. And, here are some of his many other tools that he has at his disposal at any point in time. Are you ready? Here we go. Rocket booster, cable gun, oil injector, claw arm. It's the claw. Save yourself, my boy. Okay. Fusion cutter. That was from earlier. Holo projector and recorder. Periscope, propeller, hidden lightsaber compartment with an ejector, fire extinguisher and smoke screen, small saw. I don't know why I wrote that one down. Submarine mode, collapsible umbrella. You never know when it's going to start raining. Flea remover, hairdress detangler, which I could use right now. Jukebox, inflatable mattress, inflatable mattress. Freaking it. Droid deactivator, done. What can R2-D2 not do? He's lovable, dependable, loyal, and has every trick in the book at a moment's notice. Freaking out.
10 seconds.
And without R2-D2 episodes 4 through 6, wouldn't have even happened. Total walk of shame.
Inflatable mattress?
Yeah.
I don't understand why you need both a submarine mode and an umbrella.
Now we go to Clint, who will have 2 minutes.
This is going to be replayed on my deathbed.
Mackenzie, here's the thing that's always bugged me about R2-D2. R2-D2 is a monster. He knew everything. Go back to the end of episode 3. Bail Organa only orders C-3PO's memory to be wiped. R2-D2 gets to keep all of that knowledge, all of that adventure he had in his prequel trilogy. He gets to keep all that knowledge, like who Luke and Leia's real father is. It's Darth Vader, like who Darth Vader really is, and about all the bad that he did in Revenge of the Sith, like choking out Padme, who was at the time Soup's pregnant with her twins, Luke and Leia. So why doesn't R2-D2 ever tell anybody that? He never tells Luke or Leia. He has plenty of opportunities to. He never says a word. To me, looking at what's in the films, there's only a few reasons why R2-D2 would do something like this. Number 1, he's literally incapable of communicating that information. And I'm not playing like the he only beeps card. It's not that. I mean, like, maybe he's got a finite amount of memory or something and has to delete stuff to make room for new stuff, or maybe he just forgot. Either way, that's like your iPhone just deciding to delete your selfies, and that's just unacceptable, right? Or number 2, he decided not to communicate the information, and that is the option that's on the most slippery of the robot slopes. This means that he has the info, knows the relevance of it, and chooses to leave the humans he's around in the dark. R2-D2 is displaying the exact sort of Machiavellian underhandedness that you do not want in your robots. It's monstrous. Yes, R2-D2, again, is a monster for a robot to toy with the lives of the humans around him that are counting on him, and on such an enormous scale. These aren't just regular people. These are the people that are defending the galaxy. By withholding vital information from Luke, Leia, and the rest of the rebellion, R2-D2 is putting millions of lives throughout the entire galaxy at risk. A little heads up about who they were going to rescue in the Death Star, who was going to be there waiting to stop them, would have gone a long way. And I'll tell you one thing. If Luke had known who his father was right off the bat, he'd still have both of his original hands.
Time. I'm sorry, you actually have 0.31 seconds left. Time. All right, now we'll go to Mackenzie for a 1 minute rebuttal.
Okay, what you're explaining is pretty much a police state. You want to go in and take all of everyone's information. Shut up with this. You can't count him. He's
I'm an impartial moderator.
This is the end of the world. First of all, he can communicate. He chooses not to, so we got to go with that argument because we've already established that he can project holograms and has everything recorded, that he can actually communicate. And he does communicate through his bleeping, so I'm not worried. Bleeping, beeping. So, anyway.
I'm with you.
This is the most.
30 seconds.
And this is going to be terrible. Here, but all that you've argued for, I haven't heard anything about Bishop whatsoever. All you've said is that R2-D2 isn't good. Does that mean that you don't have an argument for Bishop? Time. Please say time. I'm done. I have nothing to say right now. I don't know.
Time.
Okay.
Can I just take these out because I think they're disrupting my brain functionality.
There was a moment where I was like, I'll give her 10 more seconds because she can't stop laughing. And then somewhere in there where like you had nothing, I was like, oh, no, I'm just going to let that ride.
Okay, I'm going to be much better now.
Clint, you have 1 minute for rebuttal.
So, yes, I do have an argument in favor of Bishop. All of those things I said about R2-D2. Narratively, maybe it's an interesting device to have your MacGuffin be a shiny little monster. But when it comes to robots, I'd rather have one that is not such a manipulative puppeteer. I go back to the scene in Alien 3 where Ellen Ripley wakes Bishop back up, plugs him into the flight recorder, and then bam, he's right there with the information that she needs to help her survive for the next, for the rest of that movie. He's there, he's honest, he's informative, and all of the twitchy little bugs that were worked out in the models that came before him, like David from Prometheus, Ash from the first Alien, all of those twitchy little bugs are the kind of bugs that would have them act the way that R2-D2 does by withholding all of the stuff. So Bishop, his predecessors are more like R2-D2. Bishop is the perfection of the robot. He's the sweet spot
Time.
bot.
Do you want to say sweet spot bot?
I did say the sweet spot bot before the time. There was more to that sentence, but
Okay.
I won't say it.
First of all, we already know that he's not the best organism because in the end he says there's people that are, or there are robots that are better than me out there. R2-D2 would never sacrifice himself.
Here's the thing. He doesn't say that he says that he could be fixed and patched up, but he won't be top of the line again.
Exactly. So you just said that he's top of the line.
He's all jacked up and destroyed. Like, put R2-D2 all jacked up and destroyed. And he would never be top of the line again either. That's the point. That's the kind of self-awareness that R2-D2 lacks. R2-D2 is playing this like long game where he's like, I'm going to hold back this information from my human counterparts.
Maybe he's playing the long game with
robots to have
information in mind, going, okay, well, if I withhold it now, I'm going to tell them later, and it's all going to work out. You don't know what's going to happen in the next movies.
Wait, so
I don't know what I'm doing.
So that argument is like
I've had a really long day.
we're assuming certain things are going to or are not going to happen, and that's you got to look at what's on film.
I'm just going to say that Bishop gives up. R2-D2 would never do that.
Bishop is self-aware enough to know that his function as a robot, what he was designed to do, he's at a state where he won't be able to do it anymore, and he says, I would rather be nothing. He's the sweet spot bot. He does everything. He's got a personality. We programmed emotion into him without having to worry about whether or not he's holding back some kind of super important information about the safety of the galaxy. I mean, look, R2-D2 is an incredibly effective little robot, right? I think if you look at the best case scenario for R2-D2 and that like maybe he just forgot about all the stuff that happened, including how to fly, by the way, that's something that could have come in handy and he just decided he's not going to fly anymore. Is that what's going on here?
He didn't decide he's not going to fly.
Well, clearly he did.
Or he
just
can't do
forgot
it
how to.
anymore.
He can't. Okay. Well, so
I think that you're making assumptions that he's
not top of the line anymore. That he
Okay,
can't
I think
fly?
that you're making assumptions.
Look,
that
he's an incredibly effective little dude. He's
There you go.
essentially a tool.
and he's the
I'll
most
give him-
loyal thing.
I'll give him credit for being a really secure little piggy bank for all the rebellion secrets. But to me, that reduces him to essentially a Swiss Army knife with a thumb
They're
drive.
basically the same robot. They're basically loyal. I mean, all of the same arguments that you've made, I could make for R2-D2, except for
Well, please make them.
Except that you didn't.
it's
I'm sorry. It's a good pull wearing the T-shirt. It is backwards, but it's a good pull.
That's because C3PO is on the back or the
C-3PO's on the
front.
front, which is now in the back.
We'll see you next week. In the meantime, let us know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to vote. There's 2 very specific ones that you can go and give it a little thumbs up to vote. And we'll see you next week.
Oh man, you were waiting for that the whole time.
No, I started saying and then I thought I would turn that into words.
Yeah, I saw.
That was my mistake.